Welcome back. Sri Lanka's young people have literally grown up with the war. Regardless of their proximity to the fighting, whether they have fallen asleep to the sound of shelling or whether they have woken up to read about it in the newspapers, every young person in the country has felt the damaging effects of the conflict. Old prejudices have seeped into young minds, evidence of which is that the war was fought on both sides by youth. But there are those who feel that it is not too late to bridge those divides and start over. Our next story takes you to Tulhiriya, to the concluding sessions of a 5-day conference on peace and reconciliation for youth from around Sri Lanka.
Messages of hope for peace, reconciliation, tolerance and stronger ties amongst communities.
We could build friendships by building friendship.
Over 200 students from schools across the country have colourfully documented their hopes for post-conflict Sri Lanka. And on this, the final day of the 5-day Future Leaders Conference, they present their group work to the rest of the participants. Over the past few days, these students have attended inspirational lectures by prominent personalities such as Dr. Kumar Rupasinghe, Ambassador Jayantha Dhanapala and Sanath Jayasuriya. They have also attended sports workshops, enjoyed entertainment by popular Sri Lankan artists, and attempted to learn to live, work and communicate with each other in spite of barriers of language and possible preconceived notions about other communities.
I don't think we had any barriers because we were able to move with everyone. Basically, we could communicate with in Sinhala, in Tamil, as well as in English.
සමහරකට දෙමළ තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ. සමහරකට දෙමළට සිංහල තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ. කිසිම දෙයක් තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ. එතකොට අපිට ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ කතා කරන්න විදියක් තිබ්බේ නැහැ. අපිට පුළුවන් වුණා ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ චුට්ට හරි ඇඟවල හරි ඒගොල්ලොත් එක්ක කතා කරන්න පුළුවන් වුණා. එතකොට අපි ටීම්ස් වලට බෙදිලා වැඩ කරද්දී අපිට පුළුවන් වුණා කණ්ඩායමක් හැටියට අපි කොහොමද එකමුතු වෙලා වැඩ කරන්නේ කියලා.
The 5-day camp and conference, called Future Leaders 2009, was held at the Mass Institute of Management Technology in Tulhiriya. Participants were students, largely from areas close to the conflict zone, such as Anuradhapura, Jaffna, Trincomalee, Polonnaruwa and Batticaloa. During their days together at the camp, they worked in groups, with organisers facilitating discussion between students from different ethnic backgrounds. The purpose of this was to attempt to work towards breaking negative stereotypes and replacing those with mutual understanding of different cultural and religious backgrounds. Members of the Sri Lanka Unites organization attempted to capitalize on the natural ability and tendency of young people to question the way things are and look for creative, alternative solutions to existing problems.
We base our whole ideology on a very simple principle. Being young, we are very opinionated. I am very opinionated, but we, as young people, our views aren't entrenched. We still are willing to argue, we still are willing to listen, and we feel that if you really want to impact a generation, you've got to impact them when they're young, right? And if we really open their minds, not tell them to think this way or the other, but open their minds, regardless of how they grew up, we know that they will be in positions of influence where they can really be beneficial to society.
Interestingly, the conference attracted a diverse group of both local and foreign youth volunteers. Around 30 Sri Lankan volunteers, including university students and young professionals, along with close to 25 volunteers from the USA, UK, New Zealand and India, lent their support to this initiative and were encouraged by the difference they have noted themselves within the country and its people.
Well, because I was here last year right in the middle of where the war was, and now I can come back and it's after and see something amazing and positive like this, I will go back and tell people that Sri Lanka is on the path to peace and prosperity with leaders and with training, such as this conference. I see a really positive future for Sri Lanka.
Student representatives will go back to their respective areas and form Sri Lanka Unites clubs, which will attempt to respond to specific needs within villages or districts. These projects will be supported and monitored by the National Peace Council and the Business for Peace Alliance. It is too early to tell how effective these measures will be, or whether these students will be able to keep alive the inspiration they felt during the last 5 days. Still, the organizers have high hopes for what Sri Lanka's young people could achieve in the future with the right guidance.
As the war generation, we have never known a country without war. It's exciting, and if we can get all these kids from around the country to work together, that I think more than anything else is what we need.